All right, good morning, boys. Welcome on back. And to the chatter on one of my last videos that stated 5 subscribers. LOL. Listen, I know it's probably very, very hard for somebody to understand. I'm not captivated by audience numbers. There's nobody in here right now just because I'm recording this solo. This seems really hard to see, it seems really hard to conceptualize that I don't really care about the audience numbers as much. Truth be told, I'm a gamer. I like to play video games. However, fucking games sucks now. So this is my form of entertainment. This is like gaming for me. It's a good what is it? Not feedback loop, but I like the play loop here. Okay. So yeah, I don't really give a shit. It is what it is. Thank you for anybody that is watching. I don't really care about the numbers going up as much. It is kind of entertaining to me to see some of the videos pop off and some of them not really. So hey, I don't give a shit. It is what it is. Let's just continue gaming. All right, so now it seems like we have an epidemic of a lot of these voiceless AI slob type of comment threads and videos and psychology videos and whatnot. So let's fucking farm them. Okay, this is like playing Rust. You don't farm the fucking barrels, you farm the fucking farmers that are farming the fucking barrels. So that's what we're doing today. So today we're talking about we're talking about how people do get treated better whenever they're more attractive. And you know what? It's just a fact of life, guys. You do get treated differently if you're attractive. And I don't necessarily mean 100% physically attractive, but I do mean attraction as a whole spectrum. Yes, I am a married man, so I understand that attractiveness is its own circular type of spectrum. You might have some more skill points allocated towards physical attraction, and then you have more skill points designated towards stuff like confidence. So we're gonna look into that today. So let's go ahead. We have one of these bullshit fucking AI voice, whatever. But like I said, we're gonna farm those. All right, let's see let's see. This is Ask Reddit. How did the world treat you after you become more attractive later in life?
1. I lost some weight and suddenly people discovered I have a personality. 2. Story 2. The uglier I became, the worse I was treated. I can tell you that.
Well, I will tell you one thing. Story 1, I lost some weight and suddenly people discovered I have a personality too. Brother, people always knew that you had a personality. They just didn't like the way that you looked. That's just the harsh truth of reality here.
Story 3. I was never fat, but I was not fit until my 40s, and I always had skin issues. In my 40s, I had had enough. I hit the gym hard and started seeing a dermatologist. It made a huge difference in the way I am treated. I have received compliments, perks, and attention. I still do not think I am particularly attractive, but since getting fit and clearing my skin, I have received freebies at theaters, upgrades, opportunities to skip lines at some clubs, random discounts, and many Instagram followers.
Yeah, I'm sure that that type of stuff happens. I know it happens with me also. And shocking, I know. I used to be a former fat kid. I think my heaviest weight was 400 pounds. And in my adult years, I decided that enough is fucking enough because it was harder to live life like that than it was to actually have discipline and focus on myself and my own health, my own well-being, all those nice, fun, and lovely things. And yes, you do receive perks more often than not. Some people will look other ways. They'll be like, you know what? It's fine. It's on the house. Because I mean, that's just how the game goes. If we're looking at the world as a game, that's how the game works. You ever see a cute girl somewhere and you're just like, whatever I can do to make myself seem, the same thing works even for guys. It's just not to the extent or the degree that it would if it were for women.
It is honestly strange. Story 4. I met a classmate after a decade, and he said I had not been this beautiful in school. Otherwise, he would have flirted with me. Story 5. I lost 30 kilograms. I changed my style and grew a new spine. I stopped being a people pleaser. People began to notice and pay attention. They tried to please me and treated me like a valuable person. I realized the world is full of superficial people.
Maybe not as much superficial. So in this one, yes, losing weight, working on your physique, stuff like that absolutely fucking helps. It's not the whole picture, however. So guys, especially if you're black pilled, this is going to be a strange concept. The personality, growing a spine, stuff like that, absolutely has a lot more benefits in the long run than just being physically attractive. Yes, the physical attractiveness, especially with superficial people, it might garner a lot more attention or a lot more respect to a certain degree. But if you combine those two things together, as far as that and personality, the reason why people respect you whenever you have a personality or you have a spine, so to say, isn't necessarily because you're an asshole or something. I know there's so many people that I know that are incel black pilled or whatever, and they think it's because you're an asshole. That's not the fucking case. What it is, however, it is showing confidence, because what do women want? It's not, they don't want assholes. They want somebody that can show good leadership qualities, not just, oh, they're a fucking dick and it makes me want them even more. No, because in the long run, that doesn't work for a relationship. It doesn't work for marriage. It might work in the temporary aspects of just sleeping around, which is fucking stupid. Don't do it. Okay, I've done that. It's fucking lame, because you're taking away from things in a more respectable relationship or a marriage or something like that. You're just sucking joy out of it later, just for the short-term benefits of a one-night fucking stand. So guys, if you're young, if you're watching this, try not to fucking do that. I'm not gonna be a nerd and say save yourself for marriage. It's just, think about what you're taking away from a future spouse or anything like that. But yeah, what they want is leadership. They want confidence and leadership, because it's going to show them if times get fucking tough, you're not going to fold or anything like that. You have a clear direction and a clear vision on where to go. So yes, looking good is one thing, but it's about that type of confidence that you have, is that no matter what the situation is, we're going to work through this. That's what they fucking want. That's what women crave for in a man. Okay. So think about that.
Story 6. I still have the social reflexes of a startled possum. When someone is nice to me for no reason, my only response is to freeze and hope they lose interest. It is not going great.
And yeah, just to what I said, it's not going to go great, because they are wanting confidence, a leader, someone that can actually show that. Hey, here's another thing. Well, let's just go to solo cam real quick. So many people, they will give up on dating and everything else because they're like, the feminist culture is so awful. These fucking modern feminists, fucking misandry, all this other bullshit. Yes, those things fucking suck, and I get it. However, I will always be a firm believer in this, and if my wife were here and this was a live stream and she was in chat, she would also agree. My wife was one of those people. My wife was a super feminist. However, I do believe that men are also part of the problem. Not 100% part of the problem, but part of the problem. The thing is, my wife was an ultra feminist whenever we got together. Blue hair, fucking nose ring, you name it, whatever. However, a lot of these women will be that. They will want someone that is super liberal. They won't necessarily want anyone that's going to challenge their mindset or their perspective until they meet somebody that is a leader, that is confident, that has those other skill sets outside of just being attractive. They're going to want a bitch boy until they meet an actual man. And that is the truth. And what happens whenever they meet somebody like that, they actually let their guard down, and then they do become submissive, and not to a degree in submission. We'll talk about submission. Submission is allowing yourself to be unguarded around another person. And I've got to do that for her, and she does that for me, guys. That's how it fucking works. So yes, a lot of these people can be very ultra, feminist or whatever the hell you want, femcelled. whatever you want to say, but there is a certain aspect, there is a certain degree that you will bring out a woman's femininity based on what type of a male leader that you are. That is fucking facts. Anybody that's in a very successful relationship or marriage can almost agree 90% of the fucking time here. It's just how it is. She was the same way. And she even said it was because of you, the reason why I'm not one of them anymore. So guys, if you're watching and a little bit of relationship advice, that is true. Now, I'm not saying to go hunt a femcel, because what I am saying is, if and when you meet somebody that has those walls up, and if you display those confident leadership values, then they will be okay with submitting to that and then letting their guard down and allowing you in. But you've also got to do the same fucking thing with them. It's not a one-way fucking street, guys. Okay, we're yes, I know. Whenever we're teenagers and we're full of hormones and we want to fuck everything that's going around, we want someone that's just a sex slave or a sex doll. It's not how it fucking works whenever you get married, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's just how it fucking goes. All right, let's keep going.
Story 7. Oh, it's wild. Suddenly strangers smile at me. Cashiers say, "Have a nice day," like I'm royalty. And even my plants are thriving. I think my attractiveness upgrade came with a software patch called Charm 2.0. Story 8.
Yeah, and you know what? I just had this happen. It was fucking weird, man. It is so fucking weird whenever it happens. You start to really treat yourself worth a fuck, and people start kind of treating you well, just by proxy almost. And a lot of times it is strange. You don't know how to really react. Now, if you're single, you can react however, and just kind of benchmark it and kind of figure out, you know, is this working, whatever, you know, develop those fucking social skills. Okay. If you're married, don't entertain it. Okay. I just don't fucking do it. You just move on. You take it as it is. You go, oh my goodness, they definitely thought I was hot. And that's all. And you know what? My wife knows that. She knows all the time. I like it whenever people gas me up, but, and she's like, they should be. You're fucking, you're hot. You're a good looking dude. And also you're confident. So of course they're going to treat you like that. So, you know, you start to gauge those things.
Although my friendships did not change, their girlfriends went from considering me one of the guys to regarding me as a pick-me girl. Having a girlfriend now has not changed that. Story 9. I exercised in my 20s, and it made a night and day difference. I received more compliments, and the world became easier to navigate. Story 10. People are definitely nicer to you and smile at you much more often.
And what's funny is, like, if you were, let's say, if you lacked that physical part, like if you neglected your physical health, if you neglected eating right, lifting weights, all that good stuff, whenever you were younger, you do naturally, and most of it, especially if you're one of those, I'm sure that you can agree, and I think most people think this is true. If you lacked that physical part of it, if you lacked all of those things, you had to overcompensate on this side with those personality traits, with being able to persuade and talk well and be charming and all that other stuff. And for me, that was the only thing that I could do whenever I was growing up, was to be more charming. I remember I was working out in the field. I used to treat lawns and shit for a living. And there was this one house I went to, and on the fucking sidewalk, I guess somebody was going through it, I don't fucking know, but there was written on the fucking sidewalk in chalk, it says charm is deceitful, or charm is deceptive. And I remember that fucked me up. I was like, what the fuck do they mean? Because that was the only thing I knew, was like that charm to be a social butterfly and all these things. And it really had me fucked up for like a week. And I remember asking people, I was like, am I fucking autistic? Like, I don't get it. And they were like, yeah, charm is deceptive. Charm is deceitful. So that's whenever I realized, like, okay, well, don't always trust charm. And that's probably the way that the rest of the world's also looking at it. So you do have to have different aspects, like the confidence and the physical health, and treat yourself fucking nice. That's the main thing we're getting to.
Story 11. Puberty came really late for me. I am 28, and it is only in the past 2 or 3 years that my features have come together and finally made sense. With that being said, all my years in school were difficult because the girls who developed early and were 10 times prettier clearly received better treatment. Pretty privilege is a real thing. Now strangers stare at me for longer than is necessary. There was one man who would not stop looking at me. Every time I turned around, I would catch him staring. I am not saying it is a bad thing. Sometimes it is flattering, especially since I had never received that kind of attention before.
I mean, honestly, though, I mean, think about it this way. You ever play a video game and you see a fucking ugly ass character, you don't really want to play the fucking game anymore? It makes sense. Why would you want to fucking stare at that? Like, I want to stare at a moderately attractive character. I think that's the reason why some people fucking RP or role play as fucking like women in Fortnite or some shit, a third person shooter, because they can stare at their ass the whole time. Now, I'd say go out, lift some weights, and go get you some real ass. But, you know, that's controversial to say in this day and age, so we don't say it anymore. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I've have you ever seen somebody out and they just have one of the most beautiful faces? You know what I'm saying? And this is subjective for each and every individual because, you know, facial attractiveness is based off of, you know, symmetry and other aspects. There are things that would go well with your biology. So it's ingrained different, but you see somebody that has that face, you're like, I don't know. Let me do a little more. You're just like, how the fuck do they have such a pretty face? You're gonna want to stare at that. There's something that is releasing all these dopamine, or the like all of your dopamine fucking receptors are firing off of that. So yeah, it is flattering in some cases. So especially if you're a dude, take it as flattery. Just take it as flattery and move on.
Story 12. My former partner was so mean to me, and when I begged him to be nicer, he told me to lose 30 pounds and we would talk. I was 5 feet 9 inches and 150 pounds at the time, athletic and a rower. I lost 30 pounds and moved into the lightweight rowing category. I started doing my hair, makeup, and nails, and I did look much better. He did not become nicer to me.
And good. Honestly, that's fine. Fuck him. If you did all that shit for somebody, fuck them. Like I say it again, if you did all that shit for somebody and they didn't become nice to you and they didn't talk to you, fuck them. And honestly, even if they did chat, fuck them anyway. Maybe like you could go out and fuck them, but yeah, but you see what I'm saying. I kick them to the fucking curb. You don't want somebody like that in your life any fucking way. If you want to do something, as far like if you're in a relationship now, it's okay to work on your health. It's okay to lose weight. It's okay to do all of those things. You should definitely not do it out of a place of like, oh, they will love me more, because that's fucking stupid. But you should absolutely do it in a way of, I care about this person. I love this person, and I want to be the best version of who I am for this person. And in that exchange, they will find you more attractive. In that exchange, they will probably be fucking you all the time because, I mean, you obviously care about yourself, you care about the relationship, and they're going to care about you as a means of, you know, reciprocating that. But yeah, if you're doing it to get in a relationship in the first place, fuck them. Who gives a fuck? Plenty of other people out here. Work on yourself. But yes, if you get into a relationship and then you fall off, it is absolutely your responsibility to pick your fucking self back up and focus on yourself, focus on your health, your longevity, because what you're doing at that point, if you do not pick yourself back up, if you do not get yourself back into shape after you've fallen off, is, especially if you were like me and you have a problem with overeating and everything else, it would be a complete disparity to her for me to let myself fucking go and then make it her fucking responsibility to take care of me in my old age in life. That doesn't show that I love somebody. That means that I'm just making them it's basically like indentured servitude that she's gonna have to fucking serve, and that's bullshit. I should not sit here and pretend to care about somebody and make it their fucking problem because I don't give a shit about myself.
Story 13. People used to love me when I was just an ugly little duck. I look better now at 48 years old than I did at 20 years old. The world now bashes me about it as if this were a sin. I just don't get it. Story 14. I went from thin to obese and back to thin. The world is noticeably kinder when you look better. Strangers are more likely to greet you, smile, and make small talk. Can feel as if you suddenly exist. You receive more compliments and unsolicited attention. You attract more attention from attractive people.
I mean, you'll just attract more attention from anybody. You know, it's not really just attractive people. You'll attract attention from everybody. But yeah, I mean, people are more kinder. They are. Especially if you have both. If you have confidence and physical attractiveness, holy shit. Yeah, they will absolutely treat you like something else. And that's just one of the benefits. Okay. So what some people will do, especially if they're trying to take control of their life, is they will chase this discourse. They will chase that solely, and you will fall off. You will fall off. You can, instead of chasing this, focus on chasing the freedom that you feel. Like, you think about whenever you're kids, like you could fucking run around, like you were super agile, all those things. And that was such an amazing feeling. Chase those things. Chase the things that you were going to gain as far as physical abilities. Don't chase this clout so that you get just going to your local McDonald's, because that's going to be something that falls off. Because what's going to be more rewarding is your ability, your physical capabilities. All of these other things are going to be way more beneficial for you in the long run, as opposed to chasing all of this, like, oh, people are kinder to me. That just happens as a natural effect because you're going to be more confident in your ability to do just regular everyday shit.
People of the opposite sex tend to be friendlier. Men, for example, are more likely to go out of their way to help me. You may turn heads or receive stares, which can be difficult to process. A downside is that people can become jealous. Story 15. My dating options expanded, and
people will become jealous because they feel like they don't have the, I'm trying to think of the fucking words. I always forget of this word. It's they don't have, not the capability, but they don't have their own personal facilities to be able to achieve that. A lot of people lack the confidence to think that they can. They've given up. So yes, people will be jealous, but they will be jealous about what type of mindset or mind frame it takes to really get to that point. And these things are very, very easy if we break them down into like a task analysis. If we break them down into baby steps on what behaviors are we addressing. You don't focus on the goal as much as you do, okay, what is a behavior that I can tweak? Okay, I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, and then I have fucking 6 Pop-Tarts. Well, we could probably start by cutting back the 6 Pop-Tarts down to 4 Pop-Tarts, and that's a very small behavior change. And you start to make those behavior changes over the course of a year, and then those things start to avalanche. So it's just people see the mountain and they forget the small steps to get there. Almost fucking anyone can do it. Almost anyone can fucking do it. It's not that fucking hard. But unless you're taking the daily efforts or the daily disciplines and running with it, like one of my daily disciplines is I wake up every single morning and I fucking weigh myself. Why? And I mentioned it in previous videos before. People always come up with the fucking stupidest shit. They're like, oh, yeah, I weigh myself every day. That's so toxic. And that's so, guys, that's so fucking toxic. And that's developing, that's a disorder. And it's like, no, you fucking idiot. I do this every single day because I have an avoidant type of personality. I will avoid it. I will completely fucking avoid it. And then I won't track my food, and then I will gain 30 pounds, and then I will continue to avoid the scale because it's going to hurt my feelings if I see that I gained the 30 pounds. So I just fucking avoid it altogether, and I just weigh myself every day. So yeah, that's just, I'm just saying, it's those little tiny individual steps.
People held doors for me from a greater distance. Humanity was always kind to me, Story 16. It is like night and day. I lost some weight, and suddenly I am being hit on as a 20-something-year-old when in all the years before I was never hit on. It is still hard to get used to. Stories.
Well, I hope, and I hope like a decade prior to that, you weren't getting hit on as a fucking 15-year-old. That'd be weird.
17. I went from being politely ignored to receiving eye contact and kind acts from strangers more often than I had before. That is absolute and complete bullshit. It is why I do not want to date. People are valued based on their weight and face, and I am not willing to accept that, especially in this dating hellscape.
Listen, I used to have this type of mindset. I used to have this type of mindset. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, you should not expect people to see through that facade of fucking fat, especially if you're overweight. Okay. You should not expect people to meet you there. You should not expect people to respect you for any of these things, especially if you don't fucking respect yourself. That's the one thing. I remember having that discussion with my wife one time. My wife, she doesn't struggle with any of these things. My wife is part Asian. She's thin. She has a very high metabolism. It makes me jealous. Okay. Anyhow, my wife, she always expects respect. And I remember one time I was like, the one fucking person that you lie to the most, and she could tell you the same thing because she agrees with it. I was like, how dare you expect respect from everyone else whenever you don't respect yourself? And she's like, what do you mean by that? I was like, because the one fucking person you lie to the most is your fucking self, especially if you say you're going to do this or that and you don't fucking do it. I was like, you're lying to yourself. I was like, how do you expect or want people to respect you off of that? And those are things that she works on, and it's really cool. But yeah, this whole mentality here, I understand, but you should not expect the world to meet you there if you do not respect yourself enough to take care of yourself. I remember being so delusional, being 400 pounds, being 400 pounds and wanting this and that and wanting a beautiful blah blah blah, you name it. I wanted a 10 out of 10, and I wasn't treating myself as if I were a 10 out of 10 at all. I was treating myself like a piece of fucking shit. So yes, I get it. You don't want to be willing to accept that and date in this hellscape, but you should absolutely treat yourself. You should treat yourself with that respect that whenever somebody does come into my life, I want them to know that I have my shit together, and I want them to know that, that's the thing. You want to have your shit together for these people, especially for somebody that you're wanting to attract.
Okay. Yeah. Story 18. Man, I lost 100 pounds and found that straight men paid more attention to me, whereas before they'd occasionally do things like turn their backs while I was talking. I think many of the other changes came from a mental shift that completely changed my vibe. I did a lot of inner work, addressed previously undiagnosed issues and the problems that stemmed from them, and became much less paranoid, more open, and more relaxed.
Yeah, I mean, why the fuck would anybody want to settle for something that it is evidently just red flag after red flag? Why the fuck would they want to do that? Why would you fucking want to do it? I don't fucking want to do it. You fucking no. And another thing, like they actually know. We'll continue. I keep fucking pausing.
When I was overweight, my behavior was obnoxious and my vibe was almost deliberately off-putting because I didn't want to engage with others. Being overweight was a convenient way to opt out, saying you're a bad, fat-phobic person, without having to look inward and address my actual personality. Oh wait, no, I'm actually super weird and annoying.
Yeah, and here's the thing about fat phobia. Okay. We say fat phobia, and socially, as far as slang goes, we understand what fat phobia is. I don't think there's anything as like somebody has a genuine fear of like fat people. People find overweight individuals repulsive because it shows a modern failing in self-control. And if you're unable to have self-control, guys, then how are you going to act in a relationship? If you have no self-control over those desires or urges, are you going to have self-control over hard topics or discussions whenever they come up? Are you going to have self-control over just small disagreements? Are you going to start fucking punching holes in the drywall? That's part of it, because it shows an overall collapse of self-control. That's the most important thing, especially if you're a dude seeking for a relationship. There might be some chubby chasers, okay, but I'm talking about being like 200-300 pounds overweight. There's a complete lack of self-control there. So they want things that are moderately in line. They don't have to be extremely in line. Like right now, I'm kind of a tub of lard here, but I'm working on it still. I'm not nearly like I was, 5 or 6 years ago. I'd like to pull up a picture, but I'd have to go hunt one down. I'm not going to do that shit right now. But yes, it is that frame of mind of, oh, they're being fat phobic, in a sense, not to the degree of what the term fat phobia means. But yes, they're not going to want somebody that is captivated by lack of self-control.
Story 19. I lost 50 kilograms and it's been night and day. The confidence it has given me has changed how I interact with the world. The world treats me very differently now, less patronizingly and with less pity or scorn. I am more regarded rather than disregarded. People pay more attention, and that is nice. Pretty privilege is real. You can tell who has had it most of their life because it becomes a sense of entitlement. Those people struggle with aging and encounter ageism they have difficulty accepting.
Dude, I have one of these. Okay, so, and I'm sure almost all you, oh, my fucking hair. Sorry, I've got to work on my pretty privilege here and fix my hair because it was bothering me. So yeah, and it's not that they have a sense of entitlement. People that have grown up with this, it's just that they are entitled. And let me explain. Hold on, before you rush to the fucking comments and talk fucking shit. It's not that they have the sense of entitlement. It's like saying that they have a sense of self-awareness. They don't have any sense of self-awareness. They are just entitled. And what I mean by that is, like, I remember working in the medical field, and there would be a patient that would come in, and it's the same time every single week. And at a certain point, it's just always hour late, always an hour late. And they are one of these people. They are very much into the materialistic, superficial things. They drive a nice car. They have all this perfume. You could tell that they were an attractive person that never had to really deal with consequences, because they led, or because they just have entitlement. And a lot of it could have been that pretty privilege, and this might be a fucking weak ass, story, but still, you could just fucking tell that it was one of these people that never had to deal with consequences because they were always given the slip. They were always given, okay, well, it's fine. And they were also charming. They're like, hey man, how's it going? And it's just like, shut the fuck up, you fucking dork. Show up on fucking time, you idiot. So, I can see, it's not that they have a sense of entitlement. It's just they never have faced any sort of consequence for their bad behavior. They've never had to, because people were always willing to let it slide. We'll let it slide. And still they keep letting it slide. And this dude's been late every single day by an hour and a half for every single appointment. So yes, I do believe in that. I don't think it's a sense of entitlement because they lack self-awareness. It's just something that they've never had to face before. So I'm sure the second that you implement any type of consequence in it, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, man? And rightfully so.
Story 20. The biggest shift wasn't even how people saw me. It's how I saw myself. When you finally feel good in your own skin, you radiate confidence, and that changes how others react to you.
Exactly.
So yes, looks help, but energy is everything.
Yeah, I
Story
hate the
21.
fucking word energy, but yes, it absolutely helps.
I was sexualized. I was catcalled. Men were always trying to hit on me, and they were extremely annoying. I am glad that now I am aging and becoming unattractive again. Story 22. Better, but I moved to a place where people who looked like me lived. Story 23. I lost 40 pounds, gained muscle, and doubled my salary through promotions in about 6 months.
Damn, big ups. W for that person. W for story 23 or whatever it was in the chat. Holy shit. That's good, man. Work on yourself. Get the bag, baby.
Story 24. I am in the best shape of my life and have much more confidence than I did before. My wife agrees. However, I do not see the world treating me any differently. Story 25.
Then you just ugly. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know you as a person, bro.
Remarkably different. I went from being bullied in high school to being taken seriously as a person. I also received a lot more attention from women whom I once would have called out of my league. It was so shocking that I did not believe the attention was real for a while and thought I was the butt of the joke again. It probably took until my mid-20s to believe people's intentions at face value instead of assuming they had ulterior motives, because that was what I was used to during my childhood.
Well, you just got some childhood trauma that you need to solve, man. Talking about mid-20s bullshit. Man, you a baby. You ain't no shit. Everybody laugh at him in chat. He a baby. He ain't no shit.
Story 26. I was conscripted into my nation's army, lost 12 kilograms, and put on some muscle. I still did not consider myself good looking, but I looked a lot better than before. I also started dressing much better and began.
All these fucking stories from people that just came out of high school, like bro, you haven't known the game. Brother, you haven't known the game like I've known the game. Guys, I'm a fucking fossil, okay? You probably won't guess what age I am, but listen, I'm just gonna hit you with a cold water, okay? I'm not 28. I'm not 30. I'm not 32. I'm 30 fucking 5. All right. I've been dealing with this shit. I'm a veteran to the game. Okay. I understand this shit. I live this shit, brother. Talking about fucking in high school, and now all of a sudden I'm not. Shut the fuck up. You haven't understood how the world actually treats you until you've been in it for that long. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't want to sound like a boomer too much. I'm just being stupid, okay? Whatever. Fuck it. Let's continue the video.
And getting better haircuts just before and after basic training. For the first time since kindergarten, my female and male friends regularly told me I looked good. Nothing else changed, but it felt great. When I joined new groups of friends, people no longer skipped me when they asked everyone whether they were single. Story 27. It was worse. I grew into my looks fairly well, but other men would set me up for failure, disrespect me, or simply ignore me. Story 28. I definitely get treated better than when I was a skinny guy with bad skin and awkward hair. It turned out the only reason people misjudged my personality and interests was my appearance. Now I get compliments everywhere and people are generally friendlier. There is a lot more random flirting too, since my voice changed. Story 29. I noticed that food service employees were less angry with me when I made a mistake while ordering. Story 30. Older women started saying hello to
Oh yeah, I could imagine that. I've never worked in the food service industry, and if you have, then fucking kudos to you, because these people are fucking insane, man.
me on the street, and gay men hit on me in bars. It makes me feel so pretty.
I don't know why that's the most flattering thing, man. And I am definitely a straight person. But whatever, I've had a gay dude once tell me, he was like, I just want to tell you, you're just a beautiful man. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I don't feel like it. I still think I'm ugly as fuck, but it's just, I don't know why that's more flattering. It's just fucking weird, because it's like, I know they ain't ever gonna get, it's like Borat meme. It's like, you ain't never gonna get this. You never gonna get this. So I don't know. It's probably fucking derangement. It is what it is. You can call me whatever you want in the comments. I don't give a fuck. But it was just one of those things. I was just like, man, that really boosted my. That was a good little push. That was one of the first good little confidence pushers that I fucking needed. But yeah, that's just besides the point.
Story 31. The difference in how I am treated when I wear my natural hair versus a straight wig is night and day. My hair is long and looks nice, and I think I look better with my natural hair than with something fake. With a straight wig, strangers are much friendlier, and store employees help me right away where they would normally ignore me.
I feel like this is either way, dude. Like, I don't think that this is going to be 100% success rate, because I've seen some women with some curly hair that I'm like, she's fucking hot, dude. And then I seen some women with some straight hair. I'm like, she fucking hot, dude. You know, I like fucking. There's some women that does they do the short hair. Okay, yeah. I'll say it. Like, call me Chris. She's got that short hair. Call me Chris is fucking gorgeous. Jesus, she is insanely beautiful. And my wife would agree. My wife simps for women more than I do. But that's one of them. I'm just like, she's attractive. And I think she would look different with short, you know, with longer hair. So maybe it's true. I don't fucking know, man. This sounds like there's a lot of fem cells in this.
With my natural hair, restaurants seat me in the back or near the restrooms. With a straight wig, they give me much better seating. I have never been offered a job with my natural hair, even though I usually wear it pulled back in a bun, so the texture is barely visible.
What the fuck is your natural hair? Are you fucking balding? Like, what? No shit. There's no fucking way this is 100%.
Every job offer I have ever received came when I was wearing a straight wig. Story 32. After years in a destructive relationship that ended badly.
Also, guys, talking about balding, I know that we all know that there are a lot of bald streamers out there. Brother, I will say this. If you are a dude and you're starting to have noticeably thin hair, okay? Noticeably thin. I'm talking about you're having to comb that shit over to blend it in. Guys, just embrace it. Fucking embrace it, brother. And what I mean by this is go full Lex Luthor, shave that shit down, and just right, because there's good chance you had higher T levels whenever you're younger, so you probably have a full grown beard, all that good shit, and just fucking shave the top and let the grow. You know why I say this? I know so many of my homies that are going bald that embraced it and just lean the fuck into it, shaved it down. Brother, they all got baddies. They all fucking have baddies. Every goddamn one of them have baddies. So if you're struggling with that, lean into it, embrace it, my dude. And holy shit, every single one of them, baddies. Now, you know who don't have the baddies? You know who don't have the bitches? Who don't have the bitches? The ones that decide to comb it over and pretend like it's not a fucking issue. Homie, I'm telling you right now, it's a fucking issue. Lean into it because you yourself will now no longer give a fuck. And you know what? Women they like the confidence that you don't give a fuck. And I almost guarantee you that you will get a baddie. Now, if you a fatty, you're probably not going to get a baddie. Also work on work on yourself, But yes, if you're struggling with balding, shave it off, my guy. I say this as a brother that loves you. Shave it off because every single one of these guys I know that lean into it, holy shit, their women are incredibly attractive, gorgeous, great personalities because they are a leader. The dudes are leaders that don't give a fuck, and they said, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Just saying. That's just me saying it, okay?
I decided to give it my all. At first, it was to prove my ex wrong. Later, it became for myself. I lost about 50 kilograms, built a lot of muscle, corrected my slouched posture, got into skincare, and had a friend who works in fashion help me create a clean, classy, timeless wardrobe. It has been transformative. I also started saying yes to hanging out with friends in places I normally would not have felt comfortable. People who have known me my whole life do not recognize me anymore. New people are much nicer and strangers acknowledge my presence. Women hold eye contact, smile, and flirt.
All right, so yeah, fixing your posture and shit like that's really nice. But please, guys, don't be somebody that goes to the gym and has some newbie gains and then shit where they're let's see where they're like this. They're like they do this shit and they walk around like this. Don't fucking do that stupid shit. Fixing your posture, standing up straight is fine. But whenever you start doing this number here, you look like a fucking idiot. I'm just saying, guys, it's okay to have good posture. But good posture does not mean puffing out your fucking chest for your little newbie gains You know the reason why big motherfucking dudes, big jacked fucking dudes walk like this? It's not because they fix their posture to walk like that. It's because they can't fucking bend their arms. They have no flexibility. Their muscles are so big that they can't even fucking relax their arms. Listen, I've done jiu-jitsu. I love the sport. I fucking love jiu-jitsu. And you know some of the easiest people to tap out? People that fucking have huge muscles. Especially because jiu-jitsu is a sport of leverage, and leverage is a lot easier than it would be, you know, if we're arm wrestling. Like if you have somebody in a fucking Kimura or an omoplata or an arm bar, any of those things, it's honestly fairly easy to get enough leverage to fuck them up. So, for example, if you get somebody in a Kimura that's a fucking a bodybuilder, the second that their arm hits right here, they're tapping because they have no fucking flexibility. All of that shit's, that's the reason why they walk like this. It's not because they do it to look more attractive. It's because they can't. They're arms. They can't fucking do it. They can't fucking do it, guys. So yeah, you ever see a big motherfucker, a big hoss ass motherfucker, like big motherfucker, like you ever see him scratch their back? They fucking can't. They can't do this. They're like, they can't fucking do it. So guys, if you just have some newbie gains, like myself, like I got a little bit going on. If you have some newbie gains, don't fucking puff out your chest. You look stupid. It's people don't walk around like that because that's just their posture. No, they walk around like that because they can't do it otherwise. They can't even relax their arm. They can't do their arms by their sides. And they can't even bend out their arms straight. They pull it past here, they're tapping. They pull it past here, they're tapping. They can't. All right, now that's a fucking rabbit hole. I'm not going to watch this whole fucking video because this damn video is going to be more than an hour long. Nobody's going to watch it. All right.
I hate to say it, but dressing well, being well groomed, smelling nice, and being in shape are cheat codes.
Wow.
People respect you differently and remember your name. Story 33. I wouldn't say I am a supermodel, but I have definitely crossed into being passably cute. Men are very helpful to me now, and it feels strange. Creeps me out that suddenly these people want to help me when they never did before. Story 34. I grew up hating my big nose and short stature and often worried my ethnicity would work against me. I lived in my head and failed to develop empathy for others. So I became bitter, miserable, and withdrawn. It was obvious to everyone. At age 20.
Okay, so I will talk about rhinoplasty. Have you seen some of these rhinoplasty videos? Holy fucking shit, dude. Rhinoplasty, that does a lot. I didn't realize it because I'm not really a big advocate for like plastic surgery and stuff like that, because I do think like your confidence has a lot to do with personality, has a lot. They're not 100% markers, but they do add a lot to the overall. But holy shit, dude, rhinoplasty will absolutely change somebody's looks really quick, especially if they have a long like bridge on their nose or whatever the hell this part of it is, and they get that kind of. I didn't realize that. I had no idea. But holy fuck, that's crazy.
8. The morning after a crushing defeat, I woke up and realized everything would be okay. Overnight, everything opened up. I started getting more dates on the OkCupid dating site.
This is a
A
boomer.
longtime coworker I had a crush on reciprocated my interest. I met my wife within 5 months and was promoted to corporate management within 9 months.
Ayo. Good shit. Good shit, brother.
In hindsight, my appearance was not the main thing holding me
Very
back.
true.
I am not sure how it happened. Maybe it was good toxoplasmosis, like the Parasite Lost
That's
episode
funny.
of Futurama. To anyone who doubts themselves, I wish you the same turnaround.
That's facts, brother. It's not all of that. And here's the thing, and we'll probably cut it there. So yes, I do not believe that is the entire process here. You know, the good looks and everything. It's because on a deeper foundational level, especially for single man that's looking for love and all these good things and want to have children and in marriage one of these days, it is to pour that much effort, dedication, and discipline into your own life shows It shows value. It shows what type of value that you have. It shows that you're willing to do hard things. It shows that you're willing to compromise on some things. It shows that you're willing to invest, and it's an investment into self. So if they see somebody that is disciplined, it's not necessarily like, oh, you got to be now. You don't have to be a Chad looking for a Stacy, but it does show that you are disciplined enough to do some of the hard things. So in that, a lot of people see that and see, well, then they're going to be disciplined enough to do the hard things in a relationship. And that is absolutely true. If you have more patience with yourself, if you know how to work through speed bumps, all of that shit, then you're going to be able to you're going to be reciprocal in doing that in a relationship. So it's not, yes, you do get treated differently if you look good, but that's not everything. So quit letting the internet, quit letting these fucking losers black pill you into saying that that's the only redeemable factor. No, you need to be confident. Yes, you need to be a leader. You don't need to be a fucking dickhead. That's not the point. You need to be confident and a leader enough for a woman to let down her guard and allow you to lead. Because here's the first test. Always, the first test is always like beep beep. They're gonna do that fucking thing. They're gonna beep. I don't want to go. What do you want to do for dinner? Beep. What do you want to do for dinner? And it's in simple moments like that where you can take leadership and control and just say, we're fucking doing Bojangles for dinner. And if they come back and they say, well, I don't want that, then you fucking choose then. It's just, you don't want, the thing is, like, women do not want somebody that is going to spin their wheels and not have the confidence enough to, for example, something gets broken in the house. They don't know how to fix it, then they're going to get overwhelmed, and they don't want somebody that's going to be there getting overwhelmed with them, be like, oh my God. They don't want somebody like that. They want somebody that's like, it's no big fucking deal, homie. I got it. Like, we're going to get it fixed. Yeah, because hard moments in relationships will always pop up. And that's part of your job. Your job as a leader is to not let everything just completely fucking collapse whenever they do. Think about it this way. Think about a harder situation. Think about, a car breaks down or something happens, a tire goes out, any of these things. They don't need an asshole in that situation. They need a fucking leader. Don't be an idiot. They need a leader, not an asshole. So they need somebody that's like, yo, we got this. It's fine. Yes, it fucking sucks. Yes, we didn't anticipate having the car completely just have the fucking transmission blow, etc. But I've already got this step figured out, because we are natural problem solvers. A lot of men are natural problem solvers. So do not let the internet fucking blackpill you. It's not about being a fucking dickhead. It's not about being a fucking mega chad with the chiseled jaw lines. It is about an encompass of all of these things. Yes, having, being physically attractive so your wife can be physically attractive to you and want to sit and bounce on that thing works really good, but she's not going to want to bounce and sit on that thing if she feels like she's dealing with the pussy. So yes, don't be a fucking pussy. And also figure out how to navigate hard things. So this shows that you can do all of those things, navigating the hard things and everything else. Anyhow, that's really about it. That was a fucking long rant. Also, to that one person that said LOL 5 subs, fuck you. I do this shit for the love of the fucking game. All right, I will see you boys later. Love you boys. And I'm out of here. Blah, 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 blah.